Well, hello, everyone. We are officially recording, and so this will be saved on Facebook so that you can go back to it if you'd like to or refer other people to it. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm always a little overwhelmed because I start with a topic and then there's so much more than I could ever have imagined. And sometimes I feel like I'm not, I can't share enough. And obviously, I'm not a physicist, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a medical doctor, but we are all in this together and we are learning how to use frequencies to help with a lot of different ideas that we have been told won't change with other types of interventions, maybe is a way to say that. And so today I'm getting very brave. I'm going to be talking about graphene oxide and detoxing it very, very specifically. And it all started because somebody from your group sent me a video that I will be sharing with you. And she was asking what she should do about this, if this, how we should work with this. And I can't say specifically, but I could come up with some ideas. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and, just let me know if you can't see me if you can't see the screen or hear. I think everybody's probably doing that, but we'll go ahead and see where we're at here. So this is what I was talking about, is just our ability to detox. And specifically, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about detoxifying graphene oxide. So don't forget today that we're able to share information on the WAVwatch Frequency Fanatics. We also have YouTube. I think somebody told me 120 videos on YouTube, and there's also Rumble videos, and then you can go to WAVwatch.com for information. So hopefully that will help you out to look at some more information. Well, I'm having trouble pressing the buttons. Most of you already know this, but the WAVwatch has 1,000 different settings. Now, some of you have some older versions and they can be updated with the TF card. And the TF card is right here. It's this slot right here. And it's right beside the charging port. And there is a small card in there that can just literally be exchanged. And so you can go online and order that. Most versions are working with that. But if you have a really old version that might be 2 years old, you might give us a call and we'll see if we could help you out before you order the TF card. It may not work, but most people are finding that that does really work pretty well, just to update. And that was my whole idea, was letting you know that you could update without buying a new watch necessarily. And then just always a disclaimer, always have to disclaim, the WAVwatch is not a licensed medical product. It uses acoustical frequencies. And it's so sad to have to say that, that acoustical frequencies have been around since the beginning of time, but they're still considered, they're still considered experimental. I'll see if I can get it out correctly. Sorry about that. We do use a few names for medical diseases. And again, we're just trying to be able to give you a label so that you can find an idea on the WAVwatch, because there are 1,000 ideas and it is hard to, find them all unless you have the correct label. Then I'm going pretty slow here. If you haven't seen this before, this is what comes in the kit. And a lot of people are missing these screen protectors right here. They're not seeing them. And what you do, you can see there's a really small film right here. And this is a protective film for shipping. And you're going to peel this film off, and then you're going to put this protective screen on. So I also now have 2 wristbands and, a charging cord, charging brick, and a case to, to carry it in, and then a 24-page booklet. So that's kind of what the updated 1001 looks like, just the same, but more ideas in it.
Did anybody see that black square in the top of the screen?
Is there something?
Yes, I wish we could get that off the screen.
Where's it at? What is it?
Upper right hand corner.
Right center.
Upper right-hand corner, huh?
At the
Right
top of the
center.
screen. There, it's gone. Thank you.
Oh, that must be, okay, on my side, that is a white square that comes in, and that's when people are coming in, and I'm letting them enter. Does it come up again? Yeah, that's what that is, evidently. Okay,
Yes.
sorry about that. Maybe I can put it in the lower left corner. Okay. Didn't know it was doing that. Sorry about that. So that's as people come in, I have to let them in. And we've covered this before. Some of you have seen it, but we have new people each time. So don't forget that when you get your watch and you put the screen protector on, that I do suggest that you try to wear it on your left hand first, because you do absorb energy through your left hand, and we pass it and share it through our right hand. And again, that's thousands of years old in history with energy. And we don't even know that, it's such an old tradition and an idea about sharing energy. But if you can't wear it on your left hand, some people are trying it on their ankle, some people wear it in their bra, different places, but just be careful because it is breakable, And then one of the main things about the watch and how it works is that every cell has about 70 receptors, and they begin to vibrate when they feel a vibration or a frequency, And so when that one cell starts to vibrate, it touches the next cell, and that cell touches the next cell. And then it basically just zips through your body at 4.3 times the speed of sound. So frequencies go very fast. And I hope I'm not a broken record, but this is my favorite thing to say. This is why it's so important to know this information. There it goes. I think that this was known, probably 100 years ago. And at some point in time, if you've learned about Dr. Royal Rife, and of course, Tesla, they were very much into frequencies. And they had discovered that frequencies go through your body very, very quickly, like I mentioned before. But they proved, there's quite a bit of information out there that Rife had the ability. He built a machine, he had a microscope, and he was doing some amazing things with cancer. And that information was out there. Medical doctors on the West Coast supported him. There were newspaper articles that said, cancer may be cured, that kind of thing. But all of a sudden, the AMA stepped in seriously, and frequencies were banned from use. They were too dangerous to our body. And to me, this slide tells it all. Don't you suppose they knew that chemicals from medications basically go through your body very, very slowly, about a foot a second. And so your body burns those up. About 98% of our prescriptions are burned up by our body, and we only absorb about 2%. So that's why we need to take medications and even supplements and foods, over and over and over again. Our body continuously needs them. But for them, it was a money thing, in my opinion. Now, that could kind of sound like a theory, but wherever you are on that, I just want you to realize that frequencies go through your body very, very quickly. And here's the whole incentive for today. Yes. Somebody have a question? Okay, so somebody sent me this video and it has dates and times and it can be kind of scary. I'm not saying that I believe every word of this. I'm just saying that I use this idea as an impetus to get busy and share some more ideas on graphene oxide. So I don't know where you're at. I'm not saying that, you should have had a shot, you should have not had a shot. I'm just saying that this is some information. Yes.
I was asked to share the following message with the world. Remember, I'm only the messenger. What you choose to do with this information is up to you and your own free will. On October 4th at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time, the emergency broadcast system will be activated across the entire United States under the leadership of FEMA, disguised as a test. However, this test will be used to send a specific high-frequency signal through devices like smartphones, radios, and TVs with the intention of activating graphene oxide and other nanoparticles that have been inserted into billions of human beings around the world through the obvious mediums. Everyone will be affected regardless of your status. The plan is to also do this in Israel at the same exact time. There are certain organizations that are doing their best to stop this in both Israel and the United States. Hopefully, they will be able to stop this. And stopping this in Israel looks promising, but stopping this in the United States is still up in the air. This will also include Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Alaska. If the October 4th date does not occur for any reason, the backup plan will be to do it on October 11th at the same time. In the case that this is not able to be stopped, I ask you all to shut off your phones and all other relevant devices at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for a period of 2 hours to be safe. This type of wavelength can affect us physically, mentally, and emotionally. I urge you all to protect yourself, and I ask you all to share this video far and wide. Thank you very much.
Well, I'd love to get this off my screen here. So here we go again.
Linda,
Yes, wasn't that fun? Are we up to sharing the screen? Can you see the screen again?
can I make a comment about that
Yes.
video?
Yes, you can.
So, Tarot by Janine is a very well renowned tarot reader. And she said that that initially was designed to do harm, but the white hats have come in and neutralized that. So we don't need to be fearful.
I see that a lot of times too, but I had a reader who, somebody who was very worried about it. And so I just wanted to say, I'm not saying one way or the other. I just wanted to give you some ideas so that no matter where you're at on the spectrum, that you can say, well, I have this in my, closet. I have this on my wrist. I can do this and I can do that, because there are so many ideas out there on what is going on. So again, I'm not saying it's yes or no, just trying to update you, just like we need to be detoxifying all kinds of things. This one is just a little bit more information about detoxifying graphene oxide specifically. And so whether it is on a whether you think that that is going to happen, I don't know. But I know that most of us probably already have graphene oxide in our system. Do you see what I'm trying to say that way? Because it is in so many things, whether we had a shot or not, it doesn't matter. It is in the air, it's in our soil, it's in the water. So, and it could have been passed to us simply through shedding. So most of us have graphene oxide in our bodies. So here's some ways, and I just really appreciate that information. And then that kind of, shows us that we are able to work with graphene oxide and detox it. Can everybody see my screen again? I was having some trouble. Is that working okay?
Linda,
Okay.
we
All right.
see it, but the little gray box is covering the entire link, part of the link. You can't see the whole link at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. And I people are still coming in, so nothing I can do about that right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm to the point I'm going to have to hire somebody to do all these clicks for me. So what we're seeing here is that graphene oxide has just blossomed in the last 13 years. So about 2010, they actually just quote unquote discovered graphene oxide. And it is basically, it's made with the same atoms as our organs. And this is from PubMed. And so it has a bidimensional nature. And so it will have unique interactions with blood proteins and biological membranes and can lead to severe effects like thrombogenicity and immune cell activation. So if that makes sense to you, this is from PubMed. They are acknowledging that these ideas are definitely causing some problems. So they were very slow on that. They had so many things developed, yet they didn't know what it would do to our bodies. They do know that it does this. So just a few ideas. And like I said, when I started, it just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I wish I was a geneticist or, had a little bit more information. But I was able to find this. And I thought this was a great chart. It's showing that these have the same symptoms. So radiation sickness, graphene oxide, and COVID-19 all cause blood clots. They all cause the loss of taste and smell. They all cause lung disorders. They all cause neurological disorders. And they can all cause a cytokine storm. And this is from Holistic Health Online. So I thought this was a pretty good little chart here to let us know that there are several overlapping problems with radiation sickness, EMFs and our 5Gs, the graphene oxide, and the COVID-19. So that kind of hits us in the face a little bit. And I think all of us just want to be prepared. I'm not trying to cause any, over the top fear. What we want to do is work together and share some ideas and take that fear level down. And just like Janine is saying on her program that's been deactivated. I've heard that before. And then the next place I go to says, no, it hasn't, So anyway, just giving you some ideas. So this is from Katrina.com, and she had a whole list of things that the graphene oxide could be doing right now. And again, it may have been neutralizing the 5G towers, however you're thinking, but it may not be have it. You could possibly have it in your body, So very important. So this is some information. I don't know whether I need to read it, all the way down the list, but could be in plastic, in our masks, and of course they're gearing us up again. They want us to, think that there's more viruses coming. We need to start wearing the masks. And I am seeing more and more people who are wearing masks now. Sadly, everybody is not there on the same page. And then there are graphene oxide fibers in the PCR tests. swabs. And I think I've seen that basically because there's several videos on the internet that you can see, and they show an unopened PCR test swab, and you hold your cell phone up to it or something, and it will actually glow. And it, because graphene oxide does conduct electricity and those ideas so well and so quickly. That's one of the things that really fascinated scientists. So it, you know, can cause blood clots. It messes up the immune system. It could be connected with pneumonia. Some of these we've already kind of read on the last chart, but it's magnetic. You know, there is a possibility of the magnetic. And we have seen pictures. Those have kind of been off the internet as much, but in the height of 2.5 to 3 years ago, when we had a virus possibility going around, there were lots of pictures of people who had magnetic problems, especially at the injection site. Again, what about the 5G frequencies? And it can pass through the blood-brain barrier. So I just thought this was a great overall list of why we want to start right now, or make sure that we already have, or maybe just the knowledge that we have something in our possession that can be helpful. So any comments?
Take the black box off at the top.
White box off of the top. Is that it? Is that what
No,
you're- Is this one it here?
It's top left.
no, it's
So now
bottom
it's
left.
bottom left.
Yeah, so it's that one. Okay.
Still there. New
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
New one in the bottom center. That's
Put it-
gone. The bottom left is there,
Let's see, I moved it. It's the same way.
but top left, top center. It's just covering part of the slide, so we can't see them all.
I'm trying here.
We haven't seen them in previous weeks when people have been coming on.
And that's interesting because this has been here every time. This is how I control it.
Yes, it's been there.
Yeah.
Been on the screen though.
Hmm.
Can you tell me where I could find replays, please, of your Zooms?
The replays of different ones are on Facebook, WAVwatch Frequency Fanatics.
Thank you.
And
The whole screen's blocked now, just about.
the whole screen is blocked.
Linda, can you hear me? This is
Yes.
Virgil. You can
Yeah,
hear me?
anybody having? Yes. Yes, Virgil.
Okay, good. I
Any
can't see a thing.
ideas though?
Oh,
Any
of course.
ideas?
Yeah,
on-
sure. May I comment?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I've been working with the CMF business for the last 25 years, and in my view, the most important thing anyone can do in this whole narrative is to detox the EMF toxicity in the body. I find the EMF frequency in the WAVwatch is helpful. And when I measure myself, it accumulates. So bottom line is you can do the detox baths, you can do the EMF frequency detox, which really does work well. But of equal or most importance is to have EMF remediating technologies, pendants, whatever works for you to wear and to have in the house. And I will tell you, the government provided data on research 30 years ago that anyone involved with being exposed to more than 3 milligauss units of EMF for 2 hours a day is predisposed to develop cancer. And that was before we really got shut down with information. I can tell you with a Gauss meter, if I turn on my car, the Gauss meter will go over to 30 Gauss units. So anyone driving their car is going to be continuously exposed. All the Tesla cars, those are magnetic nightmares. So bottom line here is, can't avoid the technology, but we can remediate it. There are two aspects to remediation. One is the process of somehow or another harmonizing the body in a way to accept the frequencies in a benign and loving way. You can see that with many of the technology pendants out there where the blood is harmonized and it becomes more separated and whole. That's one aspect. The other aspect is the poisoning that we are experiencing with the graphene, oxide, the nanoparticles that are in everyone's bodies, vaccinated or not. I am seeing that this is involved, it is embedded within our food supply, within the air we breathe, within the water. We're being poisoned, in my view, with the research I see, by just living in our environment on purpose. So the EMF mitigation technologies do not stop, in my view, that EMF frequency coming into the body and activating those nanoparticulates. So the process has to be one of a continuous process, in my view, of detoxification, ongoing. And there are some devices that I am playing with now that you can buy on Amazon. I have no interest in them. One is called the Q-Link, Q-Link, Q-Link pendant. It's been around for 30 years, copper, that will help absorb or deflect the frequencies that our bodies are being exposed to, that the harmonizing technologies do not remediate. The other one that I found most recently, also very inexpensive, is shungite. Just a simple shungite pendant with the two, I'm finding, are very useful. However, what I'll say to you is the EMF frequency on the WAVwatch is really, really, really good. And the most important thing that I do is run the detox protocol at night when I'm sleeping, the whole thing. I'll shut up now.
Okay. So, Virgil, that's what I was going to go on to say and kind of share some of these ideas that I could come up with. And then you've already shared some, so that's perfect. So just to go back to where we're at, I didn't really know that the graphite was, we talk about graphite in our pencils and things, and that's really how they found it. There were two researchers and they received the Nobel Prize for, basically isolating graphite oxide with like a Scotch tape type idea. So they, worked with it. Wow.
Well,
So,
Linda, let me just say, the graphene oxide acts as an antenna for the frequencies that are being broadcast through the satellite systems, through our Wi-Fi, to create disruption in our central nervous system that is an involuntary response on the part of the body. That is the essential issue that everyone is dealing with. And people are not crazy. People are just being influenced. We're being poisoned and activated through Wi-Fi. So you can take all the supplements and vitamins and go to all the therapists and take all the drugs. It'll shut down the symptomology, but it's not going to change what's really happening. So those are my experiences. That's my perspective. I don't have any axe to grind or anyone that I'm trying to promote.
neither do I. I'm just trying to give a little bit of information and you're sharing also. So, but I thought it was kind of interesting that it was just like Scotch tape. They put it over, a drawing, an artist rendering, and wow, they came up with a completely new idea and material. This material, this graphene oxide, is 100 times stronger than steel. It's easily hydrated. It's the lightest and thinnest substance ever known. It's transparent, conductive, and permeable. So here is this new thing, since 2010, although they discovered it in about 1850, somewhere in there. And now it's being used very, very vicariously in our society, and they haven't explored it, So like in 2012, there was only $9 million worth of sales. And can you imagine what's happened to graphene oxide and the sales since then? So that was just 2 years after it came out. There was 9 million. And so I don't have a figure. But obviously, just like Virgil has been saying, it's just gone over the top. And we are being overtaken with this product because of all of the possibilities and things that it can do. So it absorbs. It has a high absorption for proteins, minerals, and antibodies in our body. And it can form a biocorona that can then interact with other molecules. So I have to read this because I'm not, exactly into this. And I think it gives you a better chance to read it and see it and hear it also. So it can go through our skin, it can go through blood-brain barriers, and also the placenta for newborns. So I think most of us are recognizing this. And just like we have many people that are worried about it, and somebody that I knew sent me that video saying, hey, they're going to be doing something on October 4th. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying I want people to be prepared a little bit more and maybe have that fear factor erased just a little bit, thinking that they can do something. But like Virgil said, we have to be protecting ourselves every minute of the day with these kind of ideas. Now, I've showed you this slide before, and I just wanted to go over it again. The medical community is going the opposite way and say, oh, detox, we don't need to detox. That isn't even real. It isn't even right, But they even make fun of Dr. Oz, saying he's the biggest purveyor of health pseudoscience and his health advice is wrong, except when it comes to detox, when he's consistently wrong, So obviously, we want to do the opposite of what we are hearing sometimes from some of the medical professions. And we want to be detoxing in several different ways. So this is the start. This is what the WAVwatch has on it. And the newest updated version with 1,000 frequencies has, here again, I'm trying to get rid of this. It has 24 different ideas. And we have a few that have been added, like number 9, glyphosate has been added. I've also added an asbestos detox. I've added one heavy metal detox. I found another one. And I think mental disorders and brain detox is new too. I already had detox mental disorders on there. And methotrexate detox is a new one. Now, some of you may be interested in the nicotine detox that has been on there, but you might be paying a little bit more attention to it if you've heard anything from Dr. Ardis saying to take nicotine patches. This is a different way that could be very protective. Now, we've had the radiation detox and the respiratory detox and the sick building syndrome on there before, and the viral detox has been on there for a while. So these are some of the ideas, and a lot of people are realizing that they can loop them, all night long. With the new watch, it does have one more setting. Now, if you just order the update TF card, you are going from 850 to 1,000 frequencies, but you don't have a new watch that has one more click on it. And that's all it is. But it is a click so that you can play all 24 of these ideas all night long. It would just loop and loop and loop. Where before you would have to pick out one idea and loop it all night long. So although I do not have the specific word of the GO on there, basically we can use a lot of these different ideas. So we have a heavy metal detox, heavy metal toxicity. We do know that all of these are intertwined. And just like my regular description is these are different songs that are trying to take care of some similar ideas. So if you're an Elvis fan, you know, he's got a lot of songs and you may want to hear them all because they all do something a little bit different for you. And that's how it is with some of these ideas. You can play all of them. It's not going to hurt you. And some people think they don't have any of these chemicals. Wrong. We are all inundated. All of us have just an amazing amount of chemicals in our body. So it is a huge problem to be detoxifying all the time. So
May I
here's
say
an
something to
idea.
you,
Here's
Linda?
an idea. Yes.
Okay. The hardest thing that most people have is to recognize that we're swimming in a sea, just like fish, of dirty water, but we can't see it. We just simply see the effects that we call symptoms. If a fish in a fish bowl is sick and is swimming in dirty water, would you treat the fish or the water? Well, obviously, you treat the water. Therefore, the first thing you do is change the water. The detox protocol is foundational to everyone every day in living in the sea of toxicity. I'm gonna shut up now.
You can think of different ways to say things. I like that. Thank you, Virgil. So another idea that I came up with today, or that I've told you about before, I just wanted to revisit here. But another way that you could be doing your detox program is to play certain organ systems at the same at a specific time, according to the Chinese body clock. And so the heart, lung, liver, and spleen and intestine are the organs that are upset the most, that are very problematic with GO. And so the Chinese body clock gives you a specific time. Now, you may not be awake at this time of the night, so you might want to make, maybe a fancier playlist. And you could put things in for the liver and try to play those from 1 to 3 in the morning. The spleen, you would play from 9 to 11. Now, that may be a little bit of work. So that's why I was saying you might see if you could build out a frequency set that would just have these at a specific time. And I'm also working on that too, but I haven't got it done yet. The large intestine is from 5 to 7. That's when we get up in the morning and we have our bowel movements. And so you could actually, if you wake up at 5 or even 6, start playing large intestine ideas. And that would give that our organ a little bit more support and help at that point in time. Now, from 3 to 5 a.m. is when we have lung problems, and more people die from 3 to 5 because their lungs give out. So that's a really good time to make sure that you're playing the lungs. And I have told you that before. Some people already knew it, but if you wake up from 1 to 3, you've got liver problems. That's a good thing to add to your repertoire so that you can sleep better. Or if you're waking up from 3 to 5 all the time, that means that you have lung problems. That's just something that if we know, it just makes our life a little bit easier. So that's an idea along those lines, is to use the Chinese body clock and play certain frequencies according to the clock. So if you have kidney problems, the best time to play kidney is from 5 to 7. Yes. Did somebody have a comment? Okay, so I think that makes sense. That Chinese body clock is great. There are all kinds of charts. You could take a picture of this one, or you can simply go online, and you can actually buy real clocks that are set up with this. So that's an interesting and an easy concept for you to be reminded that you could be playing these things. And obviously, if we're thinking and worrying about EMFs, you could play those all night long if you wanted to. I have had some testimonies from people that if they play the EMF and detoxification, that their anxiety really goes away. Lots of different ways to say it and times to play it. But the Chinese body clock might give you some more information on a specific time to play something that might give you a little bit better job. Okay. Wow, what a problem today with my going forward here. I don't mean to be so slow. And then these come from Dr. Richard Delgado, and this is from Holistic Health Online. And these are just some nutrients, and a lot of us have these nutrients on hand. So if you're taking these nutrients already, then they might be very they could be very assisting in removal of graphene oxide. So that list is below: the melatonin, the milk thistle, quercetin, vitamin C, vitamin D3, and zinc. So all of those are really good. And then you could go to that website if you're interested. You can do your own research and see that there might be some more ideas. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think I saw a price of $212 to maybe order all of these. So again, we don't want to do just one thing. The WAVwatch can be very, very helpful with a variety of things, but I wouldn't ever want to say that it's the be all end all. We have to do other things, you know. So very, very important to do this. So I had fun with this one. Dr. Josh Axe has this as a secret detox drink. Yet for some reason, my mother has drank this for the last 60 years. This was her go-to. Every morning she'd get up and she'd have, you know, hot water and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then sometimes the lemon juice wasn't in there, but she had, you know, a lemon juice in the refrigerator. It wasn't fresh. We lived out in the country in the middle of nowhere. And then we did have raw honey, you know. So Dr. Axe is saying this is a secret, but it's the biggest unsecret that there is. So if you have these around, we ought to start getting these out and drinking these a little bit more often to detox. Is it perfect? No. But could it be part of the solution, part of keeping you cleaned up a little bit? Yes. Because just like we're saying, there's too many things going on all the time. We are in a sea of toxins. Now, here is a little video, and hopefully you can see this one too.
Humus is a valuable component of good soils, and humic acid can be defined as a complex mixture of organic acids produced by the decomposition of vegetable or animal matter. Humic acid tends to be higher in soils with lots of organic matter breaking down over time, such as in jungles and other forests. And organic farmers and gardeners rely on soil with good amounts of it to help produce lush, abundant crops without the need for chemical
Wow, I am apologetic. I'm sorry. I do not know what's going on.
fertilizers. Humic acid is closely related to another acid called fulvic acid, and although the two are technically different, they occur together in nature and are similar, and therefore the terms are used interchangeably for the most part. In addition to being a valuable component of soil, humic or fulvic acid is also used as a supplement. People take it for a variety of reasons, such as to help transport nutrients into cells, balance the microbiome, oxygenate the blood, boost immunity, quell inflammation, and detoxify the body. Aware of humic acid's amazing ability to assist in detoxification, researchers from China decided to test how effective it was at reducing the environmental toxicity of a substance called graphene oxide, or GO for short. It turns out that in recent years, graphene oxide's wide production and application have inevitably caused its release into the aquatic ecosystem. In one study, they found that humic acid significantly relieved phytotoxicity in wheat roots caused by graphene, apparently in part by reducing the aggregation of graphene and also by enhancing the storage of it in something called vacuoles. They suggest the innovative concept that humic acid acts as a natural antidote to graphene in vivo, or in other words, within a living organism. A second study found that graphene oxide induced toxicity in 2 separate ocean species, and then discovered that humic acid reduced the acute toxicity to both species by significant percentages. And in a third study, they confirmed graphene oxide's toxicity in regard to zebrafish embryos, and found that humic acid decreased the damage, quote, by regulating the morphology, structures, and surface negative charges of GO. Additionally, humic acid decreased the aggregation of GO in embryonic yolk cells and deep layer cells, and mitigated the mitochondrial damage and oxidative stress induced by graphene oxide. This study also cites humic acid as a potential antidote for GO. Now, I have absolutely no idea why you would need to detox from graphene oxide, so let's just chalk this video entirely up to theory. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, aside from, I thought that was very interesting that it had so many ideas.
Linda,
Yes,
are the black helicopters circling your compound right now?
they might be. I
Humus
was
is a
pretty
valuable
brave
component
stepping
of
out
good
on this.
soils, and
I
humic
know,
acid
and
can be
I applaud you on that.
So just to tie that up, so we could have another support. The fumic acid could be very good. Another idea is coming up, but it's very important to see that there are some ideas out there if we just can work with them. I cannot believe the mess I have. I apologize.
May I speak?
Yes, go ahead, since I'm
Okay.
clicking buttons.
All right. This recording that you're talking about talks about
Humus
the
is a
ability of the materials in humic and fulvic acid to encapsulate the nanoparticles of graphene oxide and carry them into the releasing organs of the body. That would be the alimentary canal, skin, etc., and urine. That is really, really helpful. And what I'll say about that is, I have found it very difficult to take humic and fulvic acid because it's too cheap. I'm always looking for something more expensive, like carbon 60 or stuff that's very, very expensive. But Linda, you're going to save me some money. Thank
There
you.
you go. You might as well try that, have that on hand. And that's what I was trying to look for, was a variety of ideas today, because some will appeal to one person and some will appeal to the other person. So it's very important to, realize that there are some other ideas out there that we need to be using all of those. So I'll try to see if I can get this screen share up again. Yes.
While you're doing
is a
that,
valuable component of good
I
soil.
would add that with what it is I think I know and the research that I have done, I am told, and I believe it to be true, that there are clays that can be taken with the diet. I do it every day. I take a clay from France, which acts as an attractor and an absorber of these toxins, so that when they go through the alimentary canal, they move out and transit much quicker. So I personally like this clay from France. You can get it at pH Miracle Life. It's called Terra Prima clay, and has been researched by Dr. Robert Young, and he recommends it as being the clay above all clays to handle the absorption of these toxins. It is really good. I'm not saying the other clays don't work, but they are very useful. I put clay in my oatmeal or in my seasoning or on my veggies, and I just get accustomed to the little crunch every now and then. But
Perfect.
something to
So the idea today was to share some ideas. So I hope that people have their pens out, and this idea for this clay is perfect. So that's what we're talking about. And then I also wanted to add the zeolite supplements are very good for detoxification. And then when we finish the next couple of slides, other people might have some ideas on detoxing also, just a couple ideas. So that one was a very good one from a listener. And then I don't know if you've seen this specifically, but borax is especially good for nanotechnology. And I don't know that that was in my mind, but I make detox baths, and I've actually taken these supplies to my grandchildren one time, and we had a fun little day making some detox bath. I actually took them the containers, they hand wrote a label on it, and then they were able to give a present for Christmas that they had made. It was really, really an easy idea. So again, detox baths are so easy that 10-year-olds can make them, you know. And specifically in there, you will see that borax, if you were using that in your recipe, there's lots of recipes around that is specifically good for the nanotechnology. And I was especially glad to find that. I've used that in the recipe, but I didn't know that it would help with the nanotechnology. And so then they say the hotter the water, you know, and to scrub as much as possible. So detox baths are another great thing that could be used. And then foot baths could be used. Now, several people have negative connotations with foot baths. Some people think they don't work. You'll see lots of ideas on the net that they're a scam, but I can tell you from my use that I know that they do work. Now, there are several different brands. The one I had in my office was a $1,200 model. There are some cheaper models that are in the $200 range. I do not know, you know, the specifics on all of them. So you could do your own research on that. But basically what I have seen, and I'll just give you a couple examples to know that I do believe in the foot baths. But I had a lady who was having trouble with blood clots, and this was probably 8 years ago. And when she finished her foot bath, it was red and it looked like Jell-O. I am not kidding you. It was nothing like this one. And then I had another one that did look similar to this. And the bath was so thick. I had gloves on, obviously, when I was draining it out. And I noticed a couple of chunks in the bottom of it. And so I, you know, very carefully, you know, touched it. And it was gold looking, you know. And the person who had been detoxed, you know, all of a sudden he was going, you know, and making lots of, you know, differential comments that I can't say myself. But basically, he was a painter and he sprayed gold paint all the time. That was his major thing that he did, and or his assigned job, or, you know, whatever, but he worked with the gold paint. And so basically, that was gold flecks that had been detoxed out through his feet. So I personally, from experience, know that the foot detox baths work. Now, one thing that is that is very good for the WAVwatch, I have a testimony from Michelle Moore. If any of you have watched her show, she talks about the foot detox baths a lot, and she's used them for years. But when she added the WAVwatch, she said the color of her foot baths changed completely, that it really cleared out, that her foot bath looked something like this. And then within just a short time of using the WAVwatch, it was very, I don't know if she used the word iced tea or, you know, tea-like, but changed. It wasn't near as thick and the color wasn't near as dark. So it drastically changed with the use of the WAVwatch. So I think we can put a little bit of stock in the idea that the WAVwatch is helping, but there's no proof. There's only testimonies. Now, I always tell you about minerals. They are so important. Different minerals bind with different toxins and they flush through your system. So make sure that you are taking an unrefined sea salt. Again, this is one that you are muscle testing the type of unrefined sea salt that your body needs the most, because your body is telling you it needs this mineral because you probably have this toxin, you know, in it that needs detox. So your body will tell you which is the best one to use. And then the last idea that I found, and I wasn't real pleased, but I did want to mention it to you. They are saying, there were a couple studies that saying sucralose octasulfate can actually help to detoxify graphene oxide. And they say, I just wasn't familiar with this word. So again, I'm apologizing, but they say that this is already used as a sweetener in food and drinks, in mouthwash, toothpaste, and other dental products. So they are saying that this compound in mice could actually break down the graphene oxide. Again, I didn't get all of the studying done that I wanted to, because I saw, as I was jumping back and forth between websites, I saw that this kind of sugar could be negative for your system. Imagine that. So then I couldn't find it. I lost my link and wasn't able to get that on for you as I ran out of time. But I did want to let you know that there might be some possibilities with just some of the sugars that could detoxify. Now, this isn't out a lot, but just, some information for you. So that's really all I had just on the idea with graphene oxide. So I am ready to open that up and answer a few questions in chat and see where we're going with that. But does anybody have anything they'd like to share at this point in time?
I have one thing to share, just one thing.
Can we wait? Can we wait? Is there anybody else so that we don't run out of time?
I have a question.
Okay.
What could you repeat the name of the website that man talked about when he was talking about the clay? The clay.
Okay, so there you go, Virgil. What were you talking about on the clay? What was the name of that clay and the website?
The clay is on pH Miracle products, pH Miracle, MIRACLE products.com. And it's called Terra Prima, TERRA PRIMA.
Thank you.
And it's the only place where it's available that I found. Any other, and I have no financial interest in any of these things. You should know that.
Okay. All right.
What?
So, yes. Next comment.
Didn't say where it was available.
I'm sorry.
Where's the clay available?
pH
Where's it available?
pH Miracle products.com.
Oh, okay.
Just type that in your browser. And the clay is called Terra, TERRA, PHIRMA, TERRA, by pH Miracle. And it's called Memorial, I can't even pronounce the word, clay, starts with an M, tangles up my tongue. You'll see it there. I personally use it, and I can attest to its efficacy.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I hope
Linda,
everybody got that. I was having trouble hearing it myself. Yes. Next question.
can one watch would not work on two people? Is that correct? Or each person has to have their separate watch?
Well, it depends, how you're doing it. I do have a testimony of a couple that really snuggled close at night, and the gentleman could feel the frequencies from his wife's watch, So I've got testimonies on that from pets too, that people are playing anxiety for themselves, and then their pet sits on their lap and just really calms down. So we do know that the frequency can be shared with closeness. If you want to hear the frequency at night, if you want to turn it up so that both of you could hear it, yes, you could share it in that way. So it's, kind of according to your budget. It's a lot easier for each one of you to have one, but, sometimes that doesn't work. So you'd have to be creative on ways to share the watch,
Thank you.
Yep. There's a question, any suggestions to help with dry mouth? And basically that I am not sure on that one. I would kind of go through some of the lung ideas, the breathing ideas. You might go through dental. That's not a cut and dried one, I don't think. So I don't know that I have one for that. And somebody said, a comment from Lynn Phillips, the humic fulvic acid is easy, inexpensive, and tasteless. It works. So there we have a testimony on that. And I just like the fact that we had a little video, even though it just clipped back and forth. It wasn't working very good. It was very interruptive. I apologize for that. It is definitely something that you could have on hand and be taking, All right, Christina. Do you have a comment?
Hi, yes. So in reference to the detox, what detoxes can someone use if they have like an abscess above the tooth? Like a bubble of an abscess? Like which detoxes would get rid of that, and how long would someone see results?
Oh, those are the hard questions. Sorry. Everybody has results in a different time frame. I don't know. And so some people, the inflammation, pain, and trauma might do the trick for that tooth. Other people might need to go through all of the detox ideas, because if you've got a mouthful of root canals and things like that, you've got lots of toxins in your mouth. And then you also want to go over to the dental area and try all of those also. So don't have a time frame. You're going to be working with those. And then, sometimes people use it and they hit the first thing right off. And within, 6 or 7 minutes, something has changed. And sometimes it's within seconds, those are just some ideas. Okay, Kim? Do you have a question,
Yeah,
Kim?
I was gonna give you a quick testimony if you don't mind.
Well, yes, I don't mind. I love it.
Well, we have a friend who does not have a WAVwatch yet, but he had an injury. He cuts trees down and a 1,000-pound branch decided to go the wrong way, and it penetrated through his steel toe boot on his right leg, and he had surgery within 4 hours, but they gave him zero hope that he would keep 3 of his toes and part of his foot. And so, we were all just praying. And then I called his wife and said, hey, would you like to try our WAVwatch? And she's a pretty natural person. And she goes, well, it couldn't hurt. So we got it to him Sunday. And his appointment was Tuesday, and they were expecting to make an appointment to cut off some toes within a few days. They said, if there's any black on his toes, his foot's dying. And so they unwrapped it and there was no black and there was purple, but they said that we are not going to do any surgery and we're going to wait another week. So we thought that was pretty encouraging, seeing how they had no hope.
Wow, I love that. And it's just a neighbor reaching out to a neighbor so often that just makes a difference. I've got several testimonies on that. So thanks, Kim. Someone asked in the chat, what settings for clots in the brain? So there's aneurysms, there's all kinds of ideas in the brain folder, and also in arteries there are some ideas for clots. So I would go to that. And then somebody asked again about the dental, and I think Kim said it the best. What's it going to hurt? So try all of the dental ideas. Don't just pick a specific one unless you're a good muscle tester. Play all of the dental ideas. It's not going to hurt.
Linda?
Okay. Yes.
Excuse me, back on the scenario where 2 people in the same bed each have their own WAVwatch, if they have it on different settings, that close together physically, is that going to be an issue with the different settings of the frequencies?
No, it's not. Usually your body can accept and absorb many frequencies. I mean, just think all night long, you have train whistles. Your body is listening to and absorbing frequencies all night long. So it doesn't make a difference that way. Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Can I?
All right, Mary.
Can I say something about the WAVwatch in the bed, please?
Okay.
I use the WAVwatch in bed. I turn it up and I put it down once I see that it's working under the covers by my feet and legs. And when the covers are over it, it can play. It can play as loud as I want. I don't hear it. And that's something that a couple might do, is put it between them, turn it up and put it closer to their feet, and you'll never hear it. That's just a suggestion.
People can get creative all they want to try, and those frequencies are not going to hurt you. They're acoustical sounds. There's, those are all within the range of hearing. And so they should be okay. They're just different portions of a song, and you're hearing them or feeling them, absorbing them in different ways. Okay, I think Mary, an idea, anything from Mary?
Mute.
There you go, Mary.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
First of all, I was going to say I came across this on Telegram. It's called Spike Support, and it was recommended by Dr. Peter McCullough, and it has nattokinase in it, and dandelion root, green tree extract, selenium. Anyway, it's supposed to be really, really good for detoxing the spike protein. And if you read through the testimonials, it's pretty amazing the success that people have had with that. And then the other thing that I was going, and you can get it at I put it in the chat, twc.health, and it's called Spike Support. It's a supplement, and I highly recommend it. And then the other thing I was going to say is about a tooth abscess, because I had a tooth abscess and I tried every natural healing thing I could think of in the world, and nothing worked until I did glutathione nebulizer treatment. And that you can find at, let me see if I can find it back. If you go to deeprootsathome.com, there is an article published there that's called 4 nebulizer treatments we can do at home to stay out of the hospital. And one of them is for glutathione. And there's one type of capsule glutathione you can combine with saline solution and nebulize. And you can do it like 4 times a day. And I was amazed because it pulled that abscess out and, you know, let it be until it bursts. And then that really, really helped. And then after that, I've been running the WAVwatch for all of the dental. And I tried doing the whole dental folder every night for like weeks.
Good, how you doing? Riker, chill. They don't want to see you.
Please mute yourself. Someone else is talking. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone had more questions, but the tooth abscess one is a really, really hard one.
Get rid of. So you ran the WAVwatch for, you said, months on the dental. Did it help at all, or?
I feel like that helped in addition to doing the glutathione, and I kept doing the glutathione too.
Okay, perfect.
The glutathione seemed to pull that abscess out.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. I think everybody can see this, but I'll just read this. Someone posted in the chat that they'd had COVID 3 times. This is from Lori. February 21, she lost her taste and smell. In August 22, still no smell. July 23, got the WAVwatch and smell restored fully. That is great. And then September 23rd, ran COVID and viral detox libraries, symptoms not too bad. She added the EMF detox, ran regularly on day 4, and symptoms now fully disappeared. So she isn't vaxxed. And she said, my husband never caught COVID from me either. So anyway, you know, lots of different ways to protect yourself. We just have to share and know that something can be helpful because somebody else has tried it. Doesn't mean it's going to work for us. So we need a lot of ideas. Okay. Someone also asked, does the old nicotine setting also include cravings? Yes, even it might not have said that, but it does include cravings. And, is there a setting for deep root? I do not think so on the dental, but that's what frequencies do is they go deep and they zip through. So hopefully that will take care of that. And is there a setting for alcohol addictions? I believe I added a new one on the WAVwatch for alcohol addictions. Yes, somewhere.
May I add something
There's
here?
one for alcoholism. So somebody was asking me and I just looked it up. It's in the new one, alcoholism. Okay. Virgil?
The research that I've done that I believe to be true is that COVID is a symptom, a set of symptoms that are the effect of radiation poisoning exacerbated in the presence of graphene oxide in the body. The spike proteins are the effect of the poisoning. So the key is to remediate the cause. Symptomology, of course, also. That's why I say the EMF detox protocol and the devices to protect your body ongoing from Wi-Fi are essential and critical no matter what your level of health or wellness is.
And that's why I tried to show you the chart that I thought was so good that showed these are the symptoms. They're all the same, doesn't matter. So these are all causing these problems. So whether it's one at a time, all three of them rotating through, they are all causing these symptoms. Someone else asked, how do I play multi-frequencies in a row? That would be where you go to guide number 3, step 3, I guess, in the booklet, page 4, and it shows you right down here, there are 4 ways that you can play. Now, this is if you have the brand new one. If you have one that's older than 2 months, it only has 3 little choices, but their directions are right here, how you play multi-frequencies. You have to adjust the icon. You just tap the icon and it will change, and then you can correlate it here. So if you have it set on the double arrows going to the right, see, that's a hard description for me, but if you have it set on that one, it will play through all of the frequencies in a row. All right. There is not a frequency for bloody noses per se that I know of. And on this, someone says off subject, but can we create extra folders? We have only three different ideas for playlists. So you can create 3 playlists. But this is why I tried to put things in categories. I consider these playlists already. So these are playlists. So you have a playlist for arteries, you have a playlist for Parkinson's, you have a playlist for emotions. That's because there are only 3 settings for working with different playlists.
Linda,
Yes.
can a watch can be shared then, correct? Since that one person used it for their feet, so could use it one day and somebody else could use the same watch another day or twice.
Definitely. Yeah, like I said, you can use it on your pets and your dogs.
Okay.
Somebody sent us a picture that I've shared of, they use it with their duck out in the chicken house, and all the chickens came and lined up in a semicircle and just stood there and didn't make a noise while they were listening to the WAVwatch. So I still think that's fantastic. Yes, you can share. Okay. And then someone gave a testimony, have had nausea since 2000, almost every day. Since I got the WAVwatch months ago, I've had no nausea. Oh, wow. I'm so pleased for you, Donna. That is a great testimony. Wow. All right. A few more comments. Anybody else? We are kind of winding down, but any other questions or comments?
Is there an app for veins?
Yes, there is. Yeah, it's in Pain. And go to veins, and it's all, to me, put together there as a playlist for you.
Thank you.
So instead of you sorting through, 1,000 ideas alphabetically and making your own playlist, I've made the playlist for you. Okay, that's what I tried to do. Now you could be a little bit more specific, but those are playlists.
Linda?
See, Martha? Go ahead, Martha.
I have a varicose vein on the back of my right knee that is actually bulging. It doesn't hurt, but do you think I just need to have it on that varicose vein setting long enough and it would minimize, or what?
That might be a choice, but you might play more than the varicose veins. You might play some of the other ideas in that category because they're all similar. Okay. So they would be similar frequencies, and you would want to maybe try them all. The only one, Renaud's, is more a little bit more for the hands, but that doesn't mean that the frequency for that wouldn't speak to your body and your veins in a different way. Seriously.
So would I be looking at days or weeks of doing it like every day?
I have no idea. I had a testimony last week. Let's see, Rod, are you on today? Okay, I think it was Rod last week gave me a testimony that he thought he had a deep vein, thrombosis, starting a blood clot. And he was getting ready to head to the doctor, and he had his WAVwatch, and he goes, oh my gosh, and so he picked out the deep vein thrombosis, and he said within just 30 minutes or so, it seemed to be gone, and he did not go to the doctor. That's all I can say. I'm repeating a testimony. I'm not making any claims, but you might have a quick response. You might not, Martha. Don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody else?
Plum Stewart, sir.
Gee. Anybody else have questions? Seemed like somebody else did a minute
I
ago.
do.
All right.
I wanted to have you repeat where we find the information on the Facebook group for so we can see or listen to the old webinars you've given and also see the PDFs, especially because the PDFs have been blocked a lot today.
So as you go to Facebook and then you join WAVwatch Frequency Fanatics.
But where on that site?
You have to type in WAVwatch Frequency
no.
Fanatics.
Yeah, I'm in that, but I don't see the replays and I don't see the PDF. So I wondered where on the.
I'm not sure if you've joined it. You usually have to join it. And then you can type in a topic. I was just there the other day and I guess I don't remember, all the clicks, but I was able to search for, stroke or something, a particular idea. There are
Okay.
65 different ones. So I'm sorry, I don't know all the clicks.
Okay. Thank you.
Linda, is there one for cataracts? I'm sure there probably is.
There's one for eyes anyway, in general,
Eyes.
eyes. But there are 6 settings for cataracts, 6 different settings.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And I've had a couple of testimonies that people have they thought they saved themselves from a cataract surgery.
Linda, this is Audrey. On the foot bath, do you recommend using distilled water? Because my massage therapist said something about that on Monday.
Yes, I did always use a distilled water, but then I added minerals back in. You add unrefined sea salt back in.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Right. And somebody was asking the pacemaker, if they can use a pacemaker, and that is such a fun answer for you. If you are using any type of a medical tool, what you have to think of is if the medical community has told you that you have to wear earhead, phones, and that you could not hear any sounds. If you could not listen to your spouse speak, if you could not listen to music, if you could not listen to the TV, then, you could not wear the WAVwatch. I mean, it's as easy as that. The WAVwatch is acoustical sounds. So it is not going to hurt you if you have a pacemaker. But if you stand in front of a microwave, those are not acoustical frequencies. They are completely different, and that would bother your pacemaker. So that makes it easy and fun. If you can talk to your spouse, you can use the pacemaker. All right.
Linda, I have a pacemaker, and I have absolutely no problem with using the WAVwatch.
Oh, thanks. Great idea. Great addition. See what I'm saying? If they don't tell you that that you can't hear a sound for the rest of your life, then it just makes it easy. That's why I chose acoustical frequencies for the WAVwatch. They're very much helpful. And I think maybe Shirley had a question.
Yes. Have there been any testimonies for macular degeneration?
Yes, I've had just a couple. Somebody said they thought their eyes were much, much better. And I don't know specifics, just that they use the macular degeneration.
The dry macular?
I do not know about that. Now, one lady had really dry eyes, and she said the visual acuity was the one that helped that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying, place some different ideas in the same category.
Okay.
Linda?
Yes.
I know the booklet talks about using the WAVwatch when you're resting or even sleeping. Is it pretty much ineffective if we're going about the house doing this and that, sitting at a desk?
No, it isn't. I thought I tried to accent when you're slower, because seriously, some people were wearing it playing soccer, soccer. I just didn't want people to be out breaking it. I wanted people to use common sense and wear it when you're slower and setting down or moving around. A great time is when you're driving, or you just don't want to be washing dishes with the WAVwatch on, so you have to use, that's what I was trying to say. So.
Linda,
This is
Yes.
Ruth. Are there any settings for essential tremors?
Yes, there are. That's a huge one. I have a testimony on that, and they are in nerves.
Is it listed essential tremors?
It says tremors, but several people that have been diagnosed with essential tremors, that is the one that has worked.
Thank you.
Tremors.
I have a quick question. This is Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Hi. I often wear, I cut off the top of a sock and I wear that covering the WAVwatch just to protect it and also just to stop people asking me, what is that? Even though I don't mind advertising it, I just, that's probably not a problem, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It just keeps it closer to you a little bit. And that's kind of a funny one because some people like to turn it up and make it be as loud as they can when they go in a room so that people talk to them and ask them what it is. So, and Lynn, have you maybe done that? So you can have fun with it however you want to. Everybody has a different personality and a different way they want to use it. And I'm kind of envious. It looks like Vincent is sitting out in the middle of a field, but maybe he's not really.
Linda,
That's just my background.
Linda, it's Martha. If we refer someone to buy a WAVwatch, is there any benefit for us if they buy a WAVwatch?
Well, we're starting to get some ideas on that, and maybe we can give you a referral coupon. We're starting to do that. Now, previously, if you were with me 2.5 years ago, I did have a small affiliate site, and that was not working. So I have kind of stopped that unless you started it 2.5 years ago. So my two sons have come on board with me, and they are developing some different coupons for if you recommend somebody, you would get something or a discount also. So thank you for asking. It's not done yet, but we'll, put that on the website when it's available.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, Sally, again, I have a quick one. Can you remind where we would get the humic and or fulvic acid, or what website to look to for that?
There were several. And I'm not saying I know one product over the other. Someone did put a particular kind in the...
Or is there a certain brand that you recommend? I see someone just posted Amazon, which of course everything's there, but in terms of quality, I just wonder if there's...
I do not know. I honestly do not know. So, but someone put one in. Sorry, I don't see it there.
Mother Earth. Somebody
thank
put
you.
Mother Earth Labs.
Mother Earth Lab. You could at least look at that. Okay.
Linda,
Yes.
it's Ruth. Do I understand you that if you have an older watch, like 6 months old, but you have gotten the new chip to put in, so I have 1,000 frequencies now, but I don't have a way of playing a whole listed idea and then have that recycle on its own overnight?
Right. That is correct. There was a fourth idea loop put on, but that is considered a hardware change.
Okay.
And the TF card is a software change. So we couldn't help you with the ability to do that.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. But yeah. Okay, I think we're going to kind of say thank you for coming. I really appreciate your enthusiasm today, and I appreciate you helping me through all these clicks, and something wasn't right today, and it just kept messing up on the screen, so I apologize for that. So I have two very smart sons, and maybe I'll have to have some more training on what happened there, so I'll know what to do the next time if that happens. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, Linda.
Yes.
Good night. Hi, Linda. I'm sorry I put this in the chat, but for tinnitus, is there another setting to add to that?
There's 1 and 2, there's a differentiation. And then some people have, had some changes with just doing inflammation, pain, and trauma, and some different ideas. So that one has been a hard one to work with. Like I'm so enthusiastic about kidney stones. I mean, those are almost 100% effective in 30 minutes or so. People will see flack in their urine. But tinnitus or tinnitus, either way, basically that one has been a little bit harder. And so it is not 100%, kind of like I feel the kidney stones are. So you do need to work with it maybe a little bit more. But I've had some people have changes in 20 minutes in my office with their ears too. So it is a little bit harder to work with.
All
So
right,
sorry
thank you
about
so
that.
much. Thank you for your information, and I'll just stay on it.
All right.
I'm talking and I'm speaking healing. So thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hopefully we'll see some of you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Or
Linda.
all of you next week. We'll see all of you next week.
Bye, Linda.
Hey there. And bye.